Greetings and salutations. My name is Vadoma, and welcome very much to my YouTube channel. I am going to be sharing a variety of topics with you, primarily focusing on issues of gender, sacred sexuality, kink, polyamory, alternative lifestyles, that sort of thing. The reason I decided to make those videos is because I'm just begun a gender transition from female to male. I wanted to document the things that are going on for me, give myself a little bit of forum to mull these over my head so that they make sense for me, and also to share them with other people to see if my experience might resonate or help someone else as well. So the reason I call myself Vadoma is it's actually a kink theme name. I am a sexuality presenter, so I do conferences and workshops in the Midwest, and I'm just doing my first national one in a short week or two. Additionally, it really resonates with me in the sense that it goes back to my Eastern European heritage, a lot of gypsy blood there too. And it's a traditional female name, which means one who sees or one who knows, so it has some spiritual, more pagan, shamanic connotations there as well. So as I mentioned, I am a sexuality educator. Additionally, my partner and I are also Tantra practitioners, so we teach those type of workshops as well. You may have seen my partner's videos here on YouTube. Her channel is Atypical Ash, and Ash is A-E-S-H-E. And she is a male-female transsexual, and she's been sharing her experiences there as well. So why am I doing this video now? Right now, I'm about, I would say, 4 months, a little over 4 months into my transition, meaning I've been taking hormones, specifically the hormone testosterone cypionate, for that period of time. And normally I know a lot of people start doing these videos right when they begin to take the hormones, but I waited for a variety of different reasons. There's a lot of upheaval going on in our lives, both financially and emotionally, and I also guess I wasn't ready to talk about it yet. I was feeling very protective about my gender identity and not wanting to really put it out there at that point. So I think I needed to take a little extra time to really get things solid in my head so that I could then articulate that a little bit better. In terms of my story, I know a lot of people tell me don't look it, but I'm 40 years old. I just turned 40 this past August, and I know that a lot of trans people these days are transitioning younger and younger, as a general rule, that the next generation is very aware of their gender identity in a way that possibly my generation and Generation X might not have been. And it's one of those situations where when I look back on things, I should have been able to connect all the dots. It should have been incredibly obvious to me what was going on with my gender identity, but I didn't have the concept of language available to me in order to really figure that out. I mean, I remember from a very early age, specifically asking my grandmother why I couldn't be a boy, why did I have to be born a girl. But what was also confusing for me is I experienced some gender dysphoria, but I never had the experience of being a man trapped in a woman's body. There were certainly things I wanted to change about it, but I mean the overall picture didn't feel like I needed a complete overhaul or that I was wrong. I do remember being a tomboy as a child, and then there reaching a certain point where it was societally unacceptable once I hit puberty to still continue to act like a boy, and then I had to make the abrupt switch to being a girl, even though I wasn't trained or had that experience to do so. So that was definitely a confusing time for me. And over the years, I think I dealt with a lot of my issues about gender by sublimating them in a little bit of a way. By that I mean is, okay, for women, it is very easy in our society to dress in a more quote-unquote masculine way. Women can wear pants, they can wear suits. It's a perfectly acceptable thing for women to be more aggressive and assertive in the workplace. So I really thought that's what I was. I was more of a masculine, female-bodied sort of person. And that seemed to resonate with me quite well. But I always had the sense that I wasn't presenting myself in an entirely authentic way, that there was some sort of disconnect between how people saw me and how I saw myself. I had, even though I was a very sexual person, and still am, I had a very hard time, even though I like people of all genders, having sex with straight identified cis men, because in retrospect I was having problems with them thinking of me as female. It's not that I was having problems having sex, it's just the way I was treated and that particular set of expectations about what women are supposed to be like in our society and how women are to behave in bed. My sexuality was scary to a lot of guys because I was definitely more aggressive and more assertive in the bedroom and adamant about getting what I wanted, and I didn't want to be treated like I was fragile or that I was some sort of delicate flower, because that just wasn't me. I think I do want to talk a little bit more in some subsequent videos about my experience with testosterone, but suffice it to say at this point, I think it was a good decision. I was apprehensive at first about starting it, because regardless of what people say, you're never 100% sure a gender transition is what you're going to want to be doing until you actually try it. It takes a leap of faith and often years of feeling not right in your presentation, not right with the world, not being seen as your authentic self, to finally come to a point where you're like, well, I have to do something different, and after thinking it over, this may work, but if it doesn't, I do have other options. Life is a great adventure, and if I don't take any risks, I'm not going to get any sort of big rewards whatsoever. So, hormones took a while for me to get on, mainly because a little over a year ago, my wife, started transitioning from male to female, and I asked the question of her one day, point blank, "Sweetie, are you thinking about transitioning?" And that seemed to open the floodgates for her and showed her that that experience was possible, that she could transition genders and be her more authentic self. I felt at that time, because she was going through so many changes, I needed to have a stable identity so that she would have the ability to fluctuate and move and explore and do her own things. I think I felt subconsciously that at the time it would be too difficult for both of us to be transitioning simultaneously. So I think when I felt that there was a point where she was secure in her gender identity is when I really allowed myself to explore that for me a little bit more. I did ask it at the time, but I quickly shoved it back in the box, sublimated a little bit, because I didn't want to deal with it at that particular moment. But when I did, it's been a wonderful, crazy, chaotic ride. So far, it's not something that I would wish to trade for the world. Even though I'm starting transitioning later than a lot of people, I feel very fortunate that I've come to this decision and have such an accepting partner. So I think I'm going to end here for today. I will be posting subsequent videos, so if you would like to comment, ask any questions, feel free to do so. This is Vadoma signing off. You have a better day.